Good morning, friends, followers, and fellow book lovers. Um, I'm back today with three short stories about my life. And I share these to showcase um, why it was important for me to learn to become a good dad. And they all have to deal with my own family and my father, who has been an example to us, meaning myself and my siblings. Um, and hopefully, I'll be able to tie this back in. The first is learning to ride a bike. When my dad was first in the Army, the first duty station that I really remember a little bit about is Fort Lewis, Washington. And we lived off base for part of that time. And we lived on a hill, and it was a rather steep hill. Um, and I had a yellow bike with a banana seat. For those of you that might be old enough to remember a banana seat, um, it was a long seat that curved up in the back. For those of you that don't, and I remember getting on that bike and riding down this hill. Now, my dad didn't run down the hill with me the whole way. He did go down with me a little bit, but he encouraged me, and I crashed that first time. And then we got we got I got myself picked up, and I got the bike and went back up the hill to my dad and did it the second time. And I just don't even remember the words he said, but I remember the confidence that he instilled in me that I could do it. Second time down the hill, man, I biffed it again. And the third time, I rode the bike. And I was able to then ride, of course, after that, up and down the hill and all over the place, which really didn't take off until we moved on to base housing. And there, I rode my bike more often instead of having to go up and down a pretty big hill. The second story, and I tell you that because that's the first time I really remember my dad speaking confidence in my life. Second one is we went hiking, I believe, on Mount Rainier. And I'd have to actually ask. I don't even know if my dad remembers. But we were going as a family, and there was a snake sunning itself in the path. And my dad, who grew up on a mountain in Appalachia, had us all stand still and very skillfully walked up and picked that snake up. And we all got I remember this is the first time I got to touch a snake, and it was amazing. But I just remember my dad acted. He didn't stand there. He didn't get scared. He just did. And so that was a lesson to me to act, to move forward, and to do things, even if there might be some fear or concern. And then the last story was in Puget Sound. The Army or the military, I don't remember whose place it was, but there was a place in Puget Sound for the military where we could go and be at the beach and do stuff like that. Well, there were a bunch of dog sharks that had beached themselves, and I think they were dog sharks. I just remember they were like 2-3 feet long. It's not very big, but what the men had decided to do was to grab them by the tail and throw them out into the water. And Ah, I remember my dad saying, "Sure, if you can get it by the tail, I'll throw it out for you." And I remember trying to get these dogfish by the tail and pull one so that way I could give it to my dad so he would throw it out into the water. And once they got thrown out in the water, they seemed to be they didn't I don't remember them coming back to the beach. Um, I just remember how quick they were to turn on us. Um, but the lesson I learned was to do the right thing, even in the face of fear. And those lessons that came at that young age are part of the reason that I wanted to grow up to be a good dad, to encourage my kids when that time came many years later to do something um, in their lives where one, I encouraged them and spoke positively into their life. Two, taught them to act and to move forward. And then three, to do something hard. And that some might think is reckless or dangerous if you want to even throw that in there. Um, but I felt confident that I would be okay. Now, I never did catch one of those dogfish, those sharks, um, because they were so quick, so much quicker than I was expecting. Even though I was watching the men catch them and throw them back out into the sound. So one of the things that I've developed is that ability to speak confidence into other people and encourage them. And that's one of the things that I bring into coaching with people um, that has made a big difference in the lives of those I've been able to work with and to build up and to encourage. So, my friends, I hope you get value from this video. If you do, please like and share it. And I look forward to seeing you next time on social media. Take care.